Bond is a bullet without a target. Let's give him one. We are the Spy-Fi guys, and this is 007 First Light trailer reaction.
Welcome to the Spy-Fi guys.
So I apologize to the universe for that.
Yeah. Wow.
Justice for Dennison.
Is it though?
I laughed and then I hated myself for laughing.
Welcome to the Spy-Fi guys, where we cover spy facts, spy fiction, and everything in between. I'm Christian.
And I'm Zach.
And yeah, so welcome back. We had a little brief hiatus by I guess just a month, but we're back and we're here to talk about the newly this game has been in the makings for about 5 years. I know they announced it initially as Project 007 about 5 years ago. But we now have a title and we have a first trailer. It's called 007 First Light. This is by IOI Interactive, the studio behind the Hitman games.
Yes, those are pretty well received, though I haven't played any of them myself.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, interesting. All right.
Well, I played like the old one, and I immediately gave up when I discovered it was a puzzle game, not an action game.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't have the patience for it at the time until I
Fair
figured
enough.
it out. Who's got that kind of time? So I noticed that this is a PS5. Is it only PS5?
No.
Do you
So
know?
the trailer, I think the trailer, depending on which version of the trailer you watched, some of them just say PS5, some others say it just depends on which one you want. So this is coming out for Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series XS in 2026.
Cool.
So we watched the trailer, and we can go through a very brief, it's a very quick 3-minute trailer. I'll just run through briefly what, you see sort of the flashbacks of the climbing accident that killed his parents. We're told that he's been in and out of boarding schools and the Navy. There's some sort of incident in Iceland that happened, and then we get our intro to our new Bond, who's very young. He's in his 20s probably.
It's just prequel. Come on.
Prequel. It's not a prequel. It's a reboot. It's a reboot.
Okay, fair enough.
I appreciate that they want to start from the beginning and just all right, they're not tied to any one James Bond actor or era. It's no, we want to do our own brand new thing so we can do our own spin on it. So
Yeah, I really shouldn't be too critical of the reboot because Casino Royale was a reboot too, where it was supposedly Bond's first mission, but he didn't come off as a brash 20-year-old rookie.
Well, no, Daniel Craig was 38 when that was filmed, which is
Exactly.
my age now.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But this trailer definitely comes off as James Bond, as one step removed from James Bond Jr.
Yeah. So we go into our MI6. Well, actually, I'm going to go back to Bond quickly. There's one detail I appreciate, and that's that he has a scar on his right cheek. Yeah. Which is a nod to the novels, where that is a prominent feature. Now, none of the actors that we've ever had for James Bond have actually had that scar.
Okay.
And I like that they threw it in from here.
That is nice. I'm actually looking at the still of him with the gun and the leather jacket.
Yeah.
Why not a tuxedo? He's James Bond.
Because I think, and this is going to this is following probably some of the same beats as Casino Royale. You're not gonna see him fully suited and booted until it's a big moment.
Okay. There you go. But it does look like Jack Ryan. He looks like Jack Ryan.
So I've heard Tom Cruise. Some people have said it looks like Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah, Tom Cruise. I also thought of Jason Bourne.
Oh, just because he's not suited and booted?
Well,
or just the general look of him?
He looks like a generic white male protagonist of a video game.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. Well, talking about that, so this is actually it's not confirmed, but it's very a lot of people on the internet suspect that this is actor Patrick Gibson, who did probably the facial scanning and then voice acting and maybe some mocap for this role. I think he is in one of the Dexter reboot or not reboot sequel series or something like that. I don't know the actor. But yeah, so we go into Bond going to MI6 for the first time. We meet a young Moneypenny and Q. There's watch gadgets, so we will have gadgets in this game. That's fun.
Yeah, let's see how much they really use them. Have you played the Uncharted games?
I have not actually.
So this reminded me This trailer reminded me of
I've
it.
heard that.
They are good.
Yeah.
I think they're good, but they're also a bit formulaic, where you have the stealth sections, and then you have the action sections, then you have the vehicle sections, and then you have the big set pieces, where the hero is like leaping from one exploding truck onto another exploding truck.
Now, you've said that you haven't played any of the recent Hitman games. I've played through like the first level of the first of the relaunch of it. And they are puzzle games, but it's also very much you can choose how you want to do it. If you want to run and this is what they've said, that this game will be similar. You can be all stealth, or you can run and gun, which is probably what I'd end up doing because I don't have the patience for stealth.
I think that's a really good idea for James Bond. It blends very well. Yeah. We'll see how it's executed. I also, with James Bond games, do you remember Telltale games and how they made a Batman game? I always thought that would be kind of cool for James Bond.
Maybe. I mean, I got bored with those games. It's just because it is a lot of it's a point and click adventure basically. That's not really a game. It's a story. Well,
so Christian, as the James Bond connoisseur that we all know that you are, I'm sure I've told you this quote before. I don't remember who said it, and I can't find it with a Google search. But the quote is, "Video games turned James Bond's suave super spy into a gun-toting commando."
Fair enough, yeah.
I think, even if you don't necessarily agree with that quote, I think it is safe to say that the movies have become more similar to Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible, and Jack Ryan as time has passed. Like, certainly it's safe to say, we did Dr. No, we did From Russia with Love. Those are not big, bam, boom, shoot 50 guys with the AK-47.
True.
Right?
Now, but the way that Bond, if you made a movie like that now, though, would it play to audiences?
Well, but this isn't a movie; it's a video game.
I know. I'm just saying, in terms of following the way that Bond has survived, is because he's changed the character is not really changeable, but the franchise and the style is kind of changeable and flexible. That you can have your wacky stuff like Moonraker, but then also you have your down to earth like Casino Royale. So the franchise, I think, is flexible enough that we can do whatever you want for it, almost whatever you want for it.
Okay, well, certainly I'd expect it to change with the times, and this game isn't any different from that. So you can carry on.
I would argue. So, I mean, what's the last proper James Bond video game we had was 007 Legends, as I've mentioned multiple times.
Yeah,
that is a Call of Duty clone.
Yeah, which is even less like James Bond than this is.
I'm glad that this has moved forward. It's more in the vein of the game that you hated, Everything or Nothing.
I didn't hate it. I just couldn't play it.
Fair enough. All right, it's third. It's third person. It seems like there's options to. Yeah, like I said, they've talked about how there's option to do stealth versus action, and it's not just going to be run and go like all Call of Duty style action.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's encouraging in terms of gameplay. Yes.
Yeah. So we have a training sequence that kind of reminded me of Kingsman.
Okay.
The first Kingsman.
Yeah.
We see him be a pickpocket. There's fights. There's something with a chest, which reminded me of From Russia with Love.
Yeah, they love doing that.
Yeah. They've got more shooting, some quips. He's in a nightclub, and then we get a car, the Aston Martin DBS 1969. We get the On Her Majesty's Secret Service theme. There's a cool silhouette fight here, more quips, scuba. I got excited when he pulled out the sword.
The sword, yeah.
I love sword fighting.
There's a lot in this trailer.
There's only a few instances of sword fighting in James Bond, so when it happens, I'm excited. And then we get, the turn and shoot, which maybe will be turned into the gun barrel. We'll see. And then classic theme, the title announce of 007 First Light, and then a little scene with where they're being hung upside down over some alligators or crocs. That couldn't tell which one they are.
Yeah, that's a nice throwback to the classic silliness of James Bond. Has always been there. But Christian, you've neglected to mention something.
Oh?
This trailer is a little sexy, which I appreciate.
Oh, yes. I did not mention, you've got some... Well, yes, and I'm like, there's one
Only a
shot,
little,
like a bikini,
not like a ton,
clad
but
babe,
like some.
and it's not like, all right, she's just walking in around in a bikini for no reason. She's by the pool, so it makes sense. But you still have that element of it. Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm just
appreciate that.
thinking of the last James Bond movie, where they tone it down a bit. Right. Well, actually, the last few.
Anna de Armas.
She's in it, but her and James Bond don't get it on, right?
True, but she's still there for the sexiness factor.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So I think overall, I'm excited for this now.
Are you actually going to be able to play it?
No.
We'll have some great YouTube trailer watch parties.
Probably.
Or not trailer, gameplay trailer.
Gameplay, yeah, that's probably what or maybe I'll find an excuse to get Nintendo Switch 2 once the price goes down.
Is it coming for Nintendo Switch 2?
It is.
Oh,
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be my best bet, because I don't know if I can upgrade my computer to be at this level. I don't know. We'll see when the specs come out. Actually, I tried. So right now on the current Hitman game, which is Hitman 3, which they've changed the title to like Hitman World of Assassination. There's a bonus level that's James Bond themed where they actually got Lashif.
Oh, really?
What's his Mads Mikkelsen to like do some new lines, and so you have to I forget what they're called, but it's like a one-off kind of season pass thing where you like play and you're supposed to take out Lashif, and you have a bunch of different options. You can beat him in cards, you can try to assassinate him otherwise. But I tried to download it, and my current computer downloaded it, and the specs should be fine, and then I just get weird errors when I try to start it.
Yeah, that's the PC life, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway, PC is not the master race, as it turns out.
For those who can play it, I would say recommend going out and playing even the bonus content that they have out right now, just because you do get rewards for 007 First Light as the game progresses.
Yeah, and it's not a sponsor, by the way.
We're not sponsored. This is just me saying, let me live vicariously through you, because I can't play it.
Very good.
I can play the first one, the first of the new launch, and apparently the third one is really good. And it's, we'll see if I think I have all three, but I just can't play it. I bought it as a bundle pack or something. Anyways, so yeah, I'm excited. Do you think you'd play it and give it a try?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody handed me a PS5 and a copy of the game, I would probably play it. Yeah.
Do you have any of these current systems, or?
Nope, I don't.
So we're both in the same boat then. Yeah, all right, watch parties.
I have a decent PC, but I don't know if it would be able to play the latest.
I mean, can you play? Did you try playing the Indiana Jones game?
No, I don't. I'm a patient gamer. I wait for things to become cheaper, which they inevitably do.
Well, if you, I think it's probably on one of the Game Pass or something at this point.
Yeah, so I'll wait. I would definitely be interested in playing it, just the same way I played your GameCube James Bond games. So
that's how I'm gonna have to satisfy myself. Is that I'm not gonna have to finish Everything or Nothing and Bloodstone, which are the last two third-person shooters for James Bond games. Although we also had that, I think I mentioned before, the Cyper 007 on Apple Arcade, which I haven't finished yet either. So I just have to finish these games at some point, with children and a family and a dog.
Exactly.
Anyways, this is a sort of little dead drop episode, but we will return very soon with a brand new episode as well. Which will be our coverage of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It should technically be a dead drop, but I think we're just gonna drop it in as a regular episode because we're a little behind on this.
Yeah, and we're due for a
it fits in perfectly with our schedule. So, but thank you all for listening. You can find us on social media at the Spy-Fi Guys on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube, and our merch store at redbubble.com. Until next time, I'm Christian.
And I'm Zach.
And we are the Spy-Fi Guys, signing off.
Thank you for listening to the Spy-Fi Guys. If you enjoyed our podcast, please be sure to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. The theme song from this podcast is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod from Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Films, books, and television shows reviewed by our podcast are the intellectual property of their respective copyright holders, and no infringement is intended.
This is a personal podcast. Any views, statements, or opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and belong solely to the participants. They do not represent those of people, institutions, or organizations that the participants may or may not be associated with in a professional or personal capacity unless explicitly stated. Any views or opinions are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual.
You can find our podcast on social media at The Spy-Fi Guys on Facebook, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Instagram.